Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my channel. Hope you are doing great. In this video I have shown how to prepare a facility inspection rounds checklist, in conformance with the requirements of objective elements FMS.1C and FMS.1D. FMS.1C requires that facility inspection rounds to ensure safety should be conducted at least once a month. This is a mandatory requirement. FMS.1D requires that the inspection reports of facility rounds should be documented, and corrective and preventive measures should be undertaken. As per FMS.1C, it is necessary to have a well-defined facility inspection rounds checklist, but, before preparing the checklist, you should define and identify certain factors in both patient and non-patient care areas. These factors are, defining the audit boundary, identifying the existing and potential safety risks, identifying the potential security risk areas and restricted areas. Also consider the building structure and infrastructure. In your audit boundaries, you should include all areas inside the hospital building, all areas inside the hospital compound wall, and the immediate surrounding areas outside the compound wall. The audit parameters should take into consideration the different requirements of the different units, departments, locations, indicating clearly what needs to be inspected and checked. Some parameters will be common to the entire hospital, and some parameters will be department specific. In the next part of the video, I have shown the format of the checklist, and in it I have also given some examples of audit parameters. What I have created is just an example. You are free to modify the checklist format as per your requirements, and define your own audit parameters. The checklist can run into many pages, depending on the size of your hospital. Here I had to break it up into different sections to explain it to you. I have divided the main portion of the checklist into 4 columns: locations, parameters, observations, corrective and preventive measures. The inspection round cannot be concluded in one day, therefore, the commencement date and the conclusion date should be mentioned. Also mention the names of the persons who conducted the inspection round. The first example I have given is mezzanine floor, and the parameter is structural safety. In your hospital, if you have mezzanine floors in different areas, then that should be mentioned clearly. For example, first floor mezzanine floor, second floor mezzanine floor, etc. You can also add any other parameter that you feel should be checked. Then I have considered the compound wall. Here too, I have given the parameter structural safety. The next example here is CCTV cameras installed in various locations. You can break it up into ground floor, first floor, outside the building, etc. The CCTV cameras should be in working condition is the common parameter for all the locations. Next is CCTV control room. In this example, I have assumed that it is on the first floor. The parameter is, the security measures in the control room should be adequate. This example is common for all the locations, and the parameter is adequate fire safety measures are available, installed, and are in proper working condition. The next example is the fire alarm control room. I have presumed that it is located on the ground floor. The parameter is the control room should be manned 24 hours a day. In my next example, the parameter is about security arrangements in the night shift in all the locations. This parameter should be checked also in the day shift, so that you can tally the differences in both the shifts. I have taken cylinder storage area as another example, because it is a very crucial safety factor. Here the parameter is to ensure that the empty and filled gas cylinders are stored separately and are labeled properly, to prevent wrong delivery of empty cylinder to the patient's bed. I have taken the next 3 parameters from the hospital premises, because these are very vital. The ambulances should be kept in proper order. Here you should indicate each ambulance separately, either by their registration numbers or by any other identification system that you have. The hospital parking area should also have adequate security arrangements. If your parking area is located outside the hospital premises, that should also be considered here. Another important parameter is the drainage system of the hospital, which should be functional round the year. In this next section, I have considered the staircase areas, which are very vital escape routes during emergency. I have selected only a few important parameters here. The staircases should provide clear passage, no waste or discarded items, and inflammable items should be stored. Inflammable items can also pose fire risk to the hospital. Another vital parameter is adequate lighting arrangements in all areas of the staircase. All the bulbs and tubes should be in working condition all the time. Having adequate and clearly visible fire exit signages, with arrows pointing in the right direction, is also a vital parameter. The stairs should have neon strips, so that escaping in the darkness becomes easy. The next parameter is having adequate numbers of fire extinguishers at different areas of the staircases, and these fire extinguishers should be kept refilled and checked regularly to ensure that they do not cross the expiry date. In the previous section, I have given examples of common parameters. In this section I am going to give examples of department-specific parameters. In the ICU department, I have selected only a few important parameters as examples: the availability of crash carts, and all the crash carts should be well stocked all the time. The high-risk medicines and injections should always be stored in a safe and secure manner, and proper records of usage should be maintained. The next three examples are: proper hand wash facilities should be made available in all the wash basin and cleaning areas. Biomedical waste management protocols should be followed very strictly. The ICU staff, doctors, attendants and cleaners should use gloves, masks, and other safety measures. For the next example, I have taken the pharmacy store, from where medications are distributed to the retail pharmacies, and to the different departments. I have selected 5 most important parameters here. The medication storage racks and lockers should be properly labeled. Whatever is your hospital's protocol for storing the medications should be strictly followed. The look-alike, sound-alike medications should be labeled and stored separately. This is a very important NABH requirement. Next, we move on to the parameter adequate security measures to prevent theft or pilferage of medications or any other items that you are storing. As per FDA rules, the last parameter is expired or near expiry medications are not stored. The same also applies to other items that you are storing in your pharmacy store. These were just a few examples of parameters. Planning this checklist will take a lot of your time and effort. Once that is done, then at the end of the checklist, add a section for review of the report, date when the report was reviewed, name and signature of the person who reviewed it. Review can also be done by more than one person. Observations and remarks of the review team should also be documented. You can decide to prepare a separate review report and attach it to the checklist, but I would recommend that you maintain all the records in one common document. Don't forget to circulate the report to all the concerned departments for their information and necessary action. Similarly, you could document the evidences of corrective and preventive measures taken, either in the checklist or in a separate sheet, and attach the sheet to the checklist. Before ending this video, I would like to give a little bit of information. Facility inspection rounds should be planned for both day shift and night shift. Use the same checklist during both the shifts and check the same parameters, so that you can compare the shift-wise findings and ensure that necessary actions are taken to rectify the errors. It is preferable if you have 2 separate multidisciplinary safety committees in your hospital: Patient Safety Committee and Hospital Safety Committee. The Hospital Safety Committee should conduct the facility inspection rounds to check safety and security aspects related to operational and functional issues. To conclude, you may not find my videos visually appealing, but the information contained within are of great value. If you have liked the information that I have shared with you, then please like and subscribe.